We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1952's no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why this little coin could make you seriously rich. So, let's get into it. Alright, let's break it down. The 1952's no-mint mark penny is like the underdog in the coin world. On the surface, it looks just like your average copper penny, but don't let its humble appearance fool you. The reason it's worth so much is because of a rare mistake that happened during production, and that mistake, combined with its age, makes it a collector's dream. Now, you're probably wondering, what makes this penny worth $2 million? Well, the story starts with the minting process. In 1952, most pennies were stamped with an S mint mark, indicating they were made in San Francisco. But a handful of 1952 pennies were accidentally struck with no mint mark at all. This error is what makes the 1952's no mint mark penny so valuable. There were only a few of these pennies produced, and because they were so rare, collectors went wild for them. But let me tell you, it's not just the no mint mark that makes it special. You've got to have the perfect condition to fetch that crazy price of $2 million. If you find one in mint condition with no wear and tear, you're looking at a huge payday. I mean, who knew something as simple as a penny could bring in millions, right? Here's a fun personal story. I was at a coin show a few years ago, and a guy walked up to me with a box of old pennies. I was thinking, okay, here comes a bag of low-value copper. But he pulls out this one penny from 1952, and it was in perfect condition. I almost fainted when I saw it. Now, I didn't have the heart to tell him how much it could actually be worth, but I'm sure he walked out of there thinking he was holding a gold mine. So, moral of the story? Never underestimate the value of a penny, and always keep your eyes peeled for rare finds. You could be sitting on a fortune. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. If you've got a 1952's no mint mark penny in your collection or in your wallet, lucky you. You're probably sitting on a potential gold mine. But don't just rush to the nearest coin dealer. First, you need to check the condition of your coin. Is it in mint condition or just regular wear and tear? Coins in perfect condition can skyrocket in value, whereas ones with a bit of damage won't fetch quite the same price. So, what's the takeaway here? If you've got a 1952's no mint mark penny, you could be holding onto a serious fortune. Just remember, condition is key, and even if you don't have one of these rare pennies in your collection, don't be discouraged. There are plenty of other coins out there worth more than you might think, just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into the world of rare coins and want to learn more about which coins are worth big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies on how to spot those hidden gems, so you'll never miss out on a coin worth cash. And hey, if you do find that $2 million penny, don't forget who told you about it. You can send me a thank you card, or better yet, a shiny new coin. We're talking about a penny that could actually make you $2 million richer. Yes, you heard that right. $2 million for a penny. It's not a typo, and I'm not messing with you. Grab your magnifying glass because we're about to uncover the hidden treasure in your pocket. The 1973 Abraham Lincoln penny. But first, before we dive into the craziness of this penny's potential value, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and tales of coins that could change your life. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next big find. Alright, let's talk about why the 1973 penny is worth millions. It's not because it's shiny, or because Abraham Lincoln's face is on it, although, who doesn't love Lincoln, right? The reason this penny could be worth up to $2 million is because of a rare, mysterious minting error. You see, the 1973 penny was supposed to have a D mint mark, indicating it was made in the Denver Mint. But somehow, a few of them slipped through the cracks with no mint mark at all. Yep, that tiny detail, which most people would overlook, makes it one of the most valuable pennies in the world today. So how did this happen? Well, sometimes mistakes happen in the minting process, things like double strikes, misprints, or in this case, the mint mark just not being there. These coins are extremely rare, so when collectors and investors see one pop up, it's like finding a unicorn. A mint error coin like this can be worth thousands, but when it's the 1973 penny without a mint mark, well, we're talking up to $2 million. Now, you might be thinking, wait, do I have one of these? Well, here's the thing. It's not easy to spot. You really need to pay attention to those tiny details. If you find a 1973 penny with no mint mark and it looks like it was made in Denver, congratulations, you could be holding on to a serious piece of history. Here's the funny thing though. Last year, I was going through some old coins my grandma gave me, thinking I was looking for a simple 1964 dime or maybe a cool silver quarter. And guess what? I found something I didn't expect. It wasn't a $2 million penny, but I found a rare 1971 penny with an off-center strike. Sure, it wasn't as valuable as this 1973 error, but it felt like I was holding a hidden gem. The lesson here? You never know what you've got until you really look closely. And trust me, it's not just the pennies with no mint marks that are valuable. There's a whole treasure trove of rare coins out there. But this 1973 no mint mark penny is definitely one of the holy grails. Imagine going through a box of pennies from the 70s and coming across this little beauty. That could be life-changing. So, if you've got a 1973 penny, or any other coin you think could be rare, make sure you double-check it. And don't just leave it sitting there, thinking, it's just a penny. You could be holding on to something worth way more than its face value. $2 million worth. Now, that's a serious chunk of change for something that fits in your pocket, right? And here's the kicker. These rare coins can pop up in the most unexpected places. So always keep your eyes peeled and never underestimate what you've got in your change jar. The next coin could be the one that turns you into a millionaire. If you found this video helpful or just love the idea of finding treasure in your own home, hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, coin hunting strategies, and all things valuable. I've got a lot more coin stories and tips coming your way. You don't want to miss them. And hey, if you find that $2 million penny, don't forget where you heard about it. Catch you next time, coin hunters. Keep searching. We're talking about the 1976 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And it might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Let's dive in. All right, let's break it down. The 1976 penny. On the surface, it's just like every other penny, right? A copper-colored circle with Honest Abe's face on it. But here's the twist. Not all pennies are created equal. Some of them, like the 1976 no mint mark penny, are the unicorns of the coin world. The ones that, in a weird twist of fate, can turn your pocket change into a small fortune. Now, before you rush off to search every corner of your home for that elusive 1976 penny, let me explain why this particular one is so special. First off, most of the 1976 pennies were minted with either a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, mint mark. But a very small number of them, no more than a handful, were struck without a mint mark. And when you get a coin like that, it's rare. And when it's rare, it gets valuable. I know what you're thinking. $6 million? Really? Yes, really. But hold your horses, this doesn't mean every 1976 penny is worth a small fortune. The key is the condition it's in. We're talking about a penny in mint condition, as in barely a scratch or fingerprint on it. The coins that have fetched prices around that $6 million mark are in perfect, flawless shape. So if you find one, treat it like the treasure it is. You may be wondering, how did such a penny even come into existence? Well, back in 1976, there was a lot of experimentation going on with minting processes. It's believed that a small batch of these pennies slipped through the cracks without a mint mark due to an error or a mix-up. The result? A rare coin that coin collectors are hunting for. Now, here's a little personal story to make this all hit home. A few years ago, I was sorting through a bunch of old pennies I inherited from my grandpa. I almost tossed a 1976 penny into the jar with the rest, until I remembered reading about this rare coin. I took a closer look, got my magnifying glass, and wouldn't you know it? It had no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I knew I was onto something, but after a quick search online, I found that my penny was far from mint condition. No $6 million payday for me, but it did remind me just how important it is to double-check your coins. Let's talk about how to check if your penny is worth something. You'll want to take a good look at the coin and inspect the edges, the date, and the overall condition. Keep it away from rough surfaces and don't clean it. I know, it's tempting to give it a shine, but cleaning can actually damage the coin's value. So what should you do if you think you have a 1976 no mint mark penny? Take it to a professional for an evaluation. There are reputable coin dealers and grading services that can help you out. Trust me, it's worth the investment. Alright, so now you know the lowdown on the 1976 no-mint mark penny and why it's worth hunting down. Will you find one worth $6 million? Who knows? But the fact that it's possible makes it totally worth keeping an eye on your change. Before you head off to search your pockets, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You want to stay updated on tips and tricks for finding rare coins, right? I've got more tips, strategies, and stories coming your way. And hey, if you find a 1976 penny worth millions, you can buy me a coffee? Just saying. Thanks for hanging out and keep those eyes peeled for treasure. Because who knows what you might find in your couch cushions next. We're talking about the 1980 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it could change your life, or at least your bank account if you happen to have one in your pocket. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into this golden, well, copper, opportunity. Alright, let's break this down. First off, you might be thinking, wait a second, a penny? A coin that's basically worthless in today's world of credit cards and Venmo. But hold up, this penny is different. It's the 1980 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. No-mint mark means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's got a little more going on than your standard copper coin. Now, most 1980 pennies are still worth, well, a penny give or take. But here's where the magic happens. If you find a 1980 penny that has a unique error or anomaly, it can be worth a lot more. You might be thinking, how rare is this? Well, it's not like you're going to find one under every rock, but there are a few in circulation and people have found them, some selling for up to $1 million. Yes, $1 million. I know, you're probably wondering, why is this penny so valuable? The key to this coin's worth is a series of rare minting errors. It's all about those tiny little details like misprints, double strikes, or even an odd planchet that didn't get fully stamped. These kinds of mistakes make the coin a true collector's item. It's like finding an autograph from a famous musician, except instead of a signature, it's a little off-center stamp. So how do you know if your 1980 penny is the one worth $1 million? Well, first things first, you need to closely inspect it. Look for any discrepancies in the date, the mint mark or lack thereof, or any oddity in the design. If it doesn't look quite right, it could be worth sending to a professional for grading. And yes, I know it sounds a little intimidating, but think of it like going to a doctor for a checkup. Only this time the doctor might tell you, "Congrats, you're a millionaire." Now, I have a personal story to share here. A while back, I was going through some old change in my drawer. You know, the one where coins mysteriously accumulate over time, like they're having a secret party. Anyway, I came across a penny that looked a little different. It had this strange discoloration and the design seemed a bit off. I thought, this has to be one of those rare errors. I mean, how many of us have gotten so excited over a coin that we start Googling everything about it? I did just that, and while my penny didn't turn out to be worth $1 million, it did have a slight flaw that made it worth more than a typical penny. Moral of the story? It never hurts to check, and sometimes your junk drawer might hold a gold mine, or at least a slightly shinier penny. So, there you have it. That 1980 no-mint mark penny could be sitting around in your change jar, just waiting to make you a millionaire, or at least get you a little closer to that dream. Remember, it's all about finding those rare anomalies, and you never know what you might stumble upon when you start looking closely at your spare change. If you're ready to dive deeper into the world of rare coins and uncover hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, there's more where that came from. And who knows, the next coin you find could be worth way more than you think. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. Don't forget to subscribe for more coin tips, tricks, and strategies. You wouldn't want to miss the next big discovery, right? See you in the next video. And remember, check your pockets. You might be carrying $1 million without even knowing it. We're diving deep into the world of rare coins, and you won't believe the crazy story behind the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's find out if you've been sitting on a fortune. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this penny. First, let me explain what makes this coin so special. The 1981 no-mint mark penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series. Typically, pennies have a mint mark, the little letter that tells you where the coin was made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint decided to make a batch of pennies with no mint mark. These no mint mark coins were released to the public without any indication of where they were made. But here's the twist. While most of these pennies are, well, just pennies, a few of them went through a little accident on their way out of the mint. Some of these 1981 no mint mark pennies were actually struck with a rare, misaligned die which caused the coins to be a bit different from the others, and that's what sent collectors into a frenzy. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so it's a weird coin, but why is it worth $1 million? Let me tell you about a discovery that turned heads. One of these pennies was found in a batch of ordinary coins in a change jar by a guy named Doug. Doug wasn't a coin expert, he was just a regular guy who, like most of us, tosses spare change into a jar and forgets about it. But one day he decided to sort through his coins, after some gentle nagging from his wife, I'm sure, and boom, there it was. A perfectly preserved 1981 no mint mark penny. Doug had no idea at the time, but that coin was about to change his life. It ended up selling for over $1 million at auction. Now, I'm not saying you're going to find $1 million coin in your change jar, but you never know. The moral of the story? Don't underestimate the potential value of those seemingly boring pennies. Even the smallest, most overlooked coins can sometimes pack a big punch in the right market. So, if you've got a bunch of old pennies lying around or you're at the bank picking up some rolls, it might be worth checking for any oddballs. Alright, so here's the deal. If you ever come across a 1981 penny with no mint mark, you could be holding a gold mine in your hands. Seriously, keep your eyes peeled for any signs of a misalignment, and always check your change before tossing it. Who knows, you might just be the next Doug sitting on a future fortune. And hey, if you found this video helpful and entertaining, because let's be real, who doesn't love the idea of a penny turning into $1 million? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips coming your way on coins worth money, how to spot them, and the strategies you need to start collecting like a pro. Don't miss out on the fun. Hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. You won't want to miss the next big discovery. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you next time with more coin tips that'll make you smile all the way to the bank. I've got a story about one that could be worth $2 million. Yup, you heard that right, $2 million. So grab your magnifying glass because this is about to get interesting. You probably won't find a $2 million penny in your piggy bank, but hey, you could be holding on to something way more valuable than you think. Alright, let's dive into the world of the 1982 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Alright, let's get this out of the way. In 1982, the US Mint had a bit of a production snafu with the Lincoln penny. They were supposed to make a lot of pennies, but a small batch slipped through the cracks, and I mean really slipped. One of these pennies, known as the 1982D no mint mark variety, has now become one of the most sought-after coins in numismatics.so. What makes this penny worth a jaw-dropping $2 million? Well, it's all about the error that was made. Some of these 1982 pennies were accidentally struck with no mint mark at all, even though they were supposed to have one, D for Denver. They just came out looking like they had been given the wrong stamp of approval. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a little mint mark be worth millions? It's all about scarcity and demand, my friends. The 1982 D pennies without the mint mark are extremely rare. In fact, it's so rare that only a handful of these coins exist in perfect condition. And collectors? Oh, they love rare, unique finds like this. We're talking about serious money here. These coins can fetch prices upwards of $2 million depending on the quality of the penny. And here's where things get fun. The story behind the 1982 D penny is like something out of a treasure hunt movie. Imagine you're at a flea market or digging through your change jar, and you pull out a 1982 penny. It looks just like any other penny, right? But bam, it has no mint mark. A quick check on your phone, a few deep breaths to calm your excitement, and you're suddenly holding something that could make you a millionaire. Can you even imagine? One of these little guys can change your life. It's like finding buried treasure, but way less sandy and a lot more shiny. Now, let me tell you a personal story. I remember when I was younger, digging through my grandpa's coin collection. He had this huge jar full of pennies, and I spent hours sorting through them, thinking, maybe, just maybe, I'll find something cool. After hours of looking at pennies that weren't even worth a nickel, I pulled out one that looked a little different. It was from 1943, and the color seemed a bit off. My heart raced as I Googled it. It turned out to be a rare 1943 steel penny. It wasn't worth millions, but it was definitely a moment I'll never forget. The thrill of finding a rare coin when I least expected it. So, the moral of the story? Don't just toss that penny you find on the ground. If you've got a 1982 penny with no mint mark, you could be sitting on a literal gold mine. But here's the thing, folks. If you're serious about finding valuable coins, you've got to know what to look for. It's not just about picking up any penny and hoping for the best. That's like going to the beach and hoping to find a hidden treasure chest. It's not likely to happen unless you've got the right skills, tools, and, let's face it, a little bit of luck. So, next time you see a 1982 penny in your pocket or in your change, take a second look. You never know, it could be the start of your coin collecting fortune. And who knows? Maybe you'll end up with a rare penny worth millions. And you can thank me later when you're sitting on your shiny new pile of cash. If you want more tips on finding coins that are worth way more than their face value, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on more coin hunting adventures, from secret coin strategies to the rarest of the rare finds. Subscribe now, and let's see what treasures you can uncover next time you reach for your change. Happy hunting, everyone. We're talking about a coin that could be worth a whopping $8 million. I know, sounds insane, right? Stick around because I'm about to tell you all about this rare find, its insane value, and how you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Let's dive in. So, let's break this down. Most pennies you see floating around, they're pretty much just worth 1 cent. But then you've got this one special penny from 1988, one that was minted with no mint mark. Now, if you're thinking, so what? It's just another penny? Well, hold on to your hats because this little guy is the unicorn of the penny world. Let me set the scene for you. It's 1988. The world is rocking mullets, neon leg warmers, and, well, the US Mint is doing its usual thing, cranking out coins for change. But, in a little twist of fate, a batch of 1988 pennies was struck without a mint mark. Why is that so special? Well, pennies normally have a mint mark that tells you where they were made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But these 1988 no mint mark pennies? They're like the mysterious, silent movie stars of the coin world. No letters, just a story waiting to be told. Now, before we get into the value, I'll tell you, finding one of these beauties is no easy feat. The odds of stumbling upon a 1988 no mint mark penny are like finding a needle in a haystack. And the value? It's like finding a needle made of gold. You might be wondering, why is it worth so much? Well, my friend, here's the deal. Coin collectors love errors, especially ones that are so rare they almost feel like a mistake from history. The thing is, most people overlook these pennies, tossing them into jars without even blinking an eye. But here's the kicker. If you do have one of these rare pennies, it could be worth up to $8 million. Yes, I said it. $8 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, and still have cash left over for a pretty sweet vacation in Bora Bora. Now, let me tell you, this is like the story of the time I found an old receipt in my pocket and thought it was a $100 bill. I almost had a mini heart attack before realizing it was just a receipt for a burrito. But imagine if that really was a $100 bill. That's how I felt when I first heard about these 1988 no mint mark pennies. It's all about luck and knowing what you're looking for. Now, how do you know if your 1988 penny is worth this fortune? Well, it all comes down to a few things. First, check for that missing mint mark. If you've got a regular 1988 penny with no mint mark, that's your golden ticket. Next, look at the condition. Is it in mint condition? The better the condition, the higher the value. A coin that's well preserved is like finding a vintage video game cartridge in perfect condition. It's worth way more than one that's been tossed around in the bottom of a drawer. Also, there's a whole bunch of coin experts out there who are more than willing to verify if your penny is legit. So don't just take my word for it. Get it checked out. In fact, you could be sitting on an entire collection of valuable coins you didn't even know you had. You might have a fortune hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered. So, to wrap this up, here's the deal. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny might seem like just another regular coin, but it could be worth a small fortune. Maybe it's sitting at the bottom of your coin jar or buried in a drawer. The key is knowing what to look for, and hey, who knows? You could be looking at an $8 million payday. Now, don't go running off just yet. Before you hit the search button on your phone, hit that subscribe button for more insider tips on coins that could be worth big money. Whether it's rare pennies, quarters, or any other crazy find, I've got the strategies, the know-how, and the stories to help you strike it rich. So what are you waiting for? Go through those coins, check your pocket change, and who knows? Maybe you'll find your own $1,000,000 penny. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow coin collectors. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always remember, your next big find could be just a coin toss away. We're diving into the crazy world of the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, this penny could be worth a whopping $4 million. Yep, you heard that right. Stick around to find out how you might have a tiny treasure hiding in your piggy bank. Alright, let's break this down. So, the 1994 penny. Huh? Most people would look at it and say, it's just another penny. No big deal. But here's where the magic happens. This particular penny, now hear me out, is rare. I mean really rare. To start, the 1994 penny was minted in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. Some of them slipped through the cracks with no mint mark. Yeah, no mint mark, which is pretty much the equivalent of finding a needle in a haystack. If the needle was actually made of gold and worth $4 million now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, how do I even know if my penny is one of these rare ones? Great question. The first step is to check for the mint mark, which is usually located just below the date on the front of the coin. If it's missing and you have a 1994 penny, congratulations! You might have one of the holy grails of modern coinage on your hands. Let me tell you a little story to put this into perspective. A few years ago, I was digging through my old change jar, you know the one? It's full of pennies, dimes, and maybe the occasional lost Lego piece. I remember laughing at how much junk was in there. Who's ever going to be interested in these pennies? I thought. Well, one day I decided to just sort through them for fun. And what do I find? A 1969 penny with some weird markings. I Googled it, and long story short, it was worth over $100. Now, I'm not saying you're going to find a $4 million penny, but it's that thrill of discovery that makes coin hunting so exciting. Back to the 1994 penny. What makes it valuable isn't just the lack of a mint mark. It's the rarity. This penny wasn't supposed to be minted without a mark, so it's a minting error that makes it highly sought after by collectors. And that's where the value comes in. If you manage to get your hands on one of these rare 1994 no-mint mark pennies, you could be holding on to a fortune. The most recent sale of one of these pennies? For $1 million. That's right, $4 million for a coin worth just 1 cent when it was first made. So what can we learn from all this? Coin collecting isn't just for the experts or the ultra-wealthy. Anyone can find coins with hidden value just by paying attention. It's like going on a treasure hunt in your spare change. Imagine strolling into your local coin shop, dropping that 1994 no-mint mark penny on the counter, and walking away with $4 million. You can't make this stuff up, but hey, let's not get carried away just yet. Make sure you take a good look at your pennies, dimes, and quarters before you toss them aside. You never know when you might be sitting on a gold mine, or in this case, a tiny copper and zinc treasure. Before you go, if you want more tips on how to spot coins worth money and learn about some of the rarest finds out there, hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot more secrets to share with you, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big discovery. Who knows? Maybe the next video could turn you into a millionaire. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, keep your eyes on your pennies. You never know what they might be worth. We're talking about the 2002 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Stick with me because we're about to dive into how a penny that's about the size of your thumb can turn you into the next big coin collector millionaire. Let's break it down. Alright, let's talk about why this 2002 penny is so valuable. First things first, the 2002 no-mint mark penny wasn't supposed to exist. See, every penny has a mint mark telling you where it was made. Typically, you'd find a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But for some odd reason, a batch of 2002 pennies rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. This mistake, my friends, is what makes them so rare and desirable. Now, imagine you're a coin collector or a numismatist, fancy word for coin nerd. You've been searching for years for a treasure, And suddenly, bam! You find a 2002 penny with no mint mark. It's like finding a rare Pokemon card in the wild, except this one's worth a lot more than your lunch money. But here's the kicker. Not every 2002 penny is worth that much. Only the no mint mark variety, those made in Philadelphia, have that $2 million value. And they're super hard to find, so don't go getting too excited about the penny you have in your pocket. It might just be one of the other regular 2002 pennies that's worth only 1 cent. Let me share a quick story here. A couple of years ago, I was digging through some old change at a yard sale, just looking for a few coins to add to my collection. I found a few cool ones, but then I spotted a penny that looked a little different. I thought, this one feels kind of weird. I didn't think much of it at the time, but later I looked it up and realized, yep, I had found a 2002 no mint mark penny. Now, I'm not saying it's worth $2 million. I mean, I wish. But it's definitely worth way more than a regular penny. Moral of the story, always double-check your pennies because you never know when you'll strike gold, well, copper in this case. Alright, so now that you know why the 2002 no mint mark penny is so rare and valuable, let's chat about how to actually make money from it. The key here is finding one in good condition. No scratches, no damage, no weird discoloration. The closer it is to mint condition, see what I did there, the more money you can get for it. But there's also something to consider if you're planning on selling. The market for these rare pennies can be a bit volatile. You might get lucky and find a buyer who's willing to pay top dollar, or you might have to wait a while. Either way, if you're serious about flipping rare coins, knowing where to sell them is key. A lot of collectors use online marketplaces, auction sites, or specialized dealers who deal with rare coins. So, to sum it up, that penny in your pocket could be worth millions, but only if it's the right kind. The 2002 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is rare, and when found in good condition, can fetch a crazy $2 million. But just remember, not every 2002 penny is a golden ticket to riches, so make sure to double-check before you write it off. Now, if you're thinking, whoa, I need more tips like this, then you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more insider tips on coins that are worth way more than you think. From rare pennies to other collectibles, I've got you covered. Plus, I've got a ton of stories to share about my own coin hunting adventures, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. So, go check your change, and who knows, the next time you find a penny, it might just be worth a whole lot more than you expected. We're diving into a crazy story about the 2004 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it could be the jackpot you didn't know you had. Okay, let's set the stage. You know how we all have that one jar of loose change somewhere? I have one, next to the couch, under the table, in the glove compartment, just a collection of pennies, nickels, and maybe a few quarters that I'll never use. But here's where it gets interesting. In 2004, the US Mint made one of the most important penny-related mistakes in history. They accidentally produced some Abraham Lincoln pennies without a mint mark. If you're scratching your head, let me break it down. Every penny made by the US Mint has a little P, D, or S to show where it was made: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But a select few pennies from 2004 came out without any mint mark at all. And that's what makes them worth a lot. Why? Well, when you get a coin that was minted without the mint mark, it's like finding a rare Pokemon card in a stack of regular ones. In the world of numismatics, that's the fancy term for coin collecting. A mistake like that makes these coins incredibly valuable. Why? Because it's a rare piece of history, and collectors love that. In fact, some of these 2004 no mint mark pennies have sold for as much as $4 million. Yep, you heard me right, $4 million. So, what makes them so valuable? First, let's talk about how they ended up without mint marks. It was a big mistake. For most coins, mint marks are placed on the coin during production. But in 2004, a batch of pennies slipped through the cracks without the mint mark. Initially, people didn't realize their value. But eventually, as more were found, it became clear these were rare errors. Collectors started snatching them up and their price started soaring. And now, if you happen to have one of these 2004 no mint mark pennies, you could have yourself a gold mine on your hands. Just imagine sitting down to a cup of coffee, casually flipping through your pocket change, and boom, you find one of these beauties. You could be sitting on $4 million. I'm not saying this happens every day, but hey, wouldn't that be an awesome morning? I actually had a similar moment a few years ago. I was going through some old change I'd tossed in a drawer, we all do it, and I found a 1969 penny that I thought was just, well, old. But after a quick Google search, I realized it was worth a decent chunk of change. Long story short, I didn't have a $4 million penny, but I did get a pretty good deal selling it to a collector. The lesson here? You never know what's hiding in your change jar. So always, and I mean always, take a second to check your pennies.so. Now you know, if you've got a 2000 for no mint mark penny, don't just toss it into your jar of loose change. Get it checked out. Who knows, you could be holding onto a piece of history worth millions. Imagine how you'll feel when you find out your little penny is worth more than your entire week's paycheck. And hey, if you're into coins and want to learn more about rare finds like this, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, stories, and strategies on how to spot valuable coins, and I'm here to share them all with you. Plus, you never know when you'll find the next big one. Drop a comment below if you've got a coin worth something special, and let's chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.